when you left, there was a hole deep in my soul. Now it is whole until the Super Bowl.
Hey YouTube, Sandyfrank here. This week's episode of Let's Have Some Football. So this is week 5, episode 5 of this season, and just recapping last week's picks. I had a really good week. My best week so far. I went 12-4 on my picks. So I went 11-5, 11-5, and 12-4 the last 3 weeks. So pretty solid. I mean, they probably weren't really difficult picks, but hey, this is I'm picking games better than last year. That's all that matters. We're doing improvements. So let's go ahead and get right into my picks for week 5. Okay. So Chicago is at Washington on Thursday night. I'm actually recording this Thursday night, and I made my picks before the game. I actually picked Washington, and last I looked, Chicago was handling Washington easily, so I'm probably going to lose that game. Jacksonville at Buffalo. This should be a really good game. I definitely think Buffalo is there after trouncing Miami. They are really looking good and very confident. They're at home. I think this is an easy Buffalo Bills win. I'm going with the Bills. Houston at Atlanta. Now this one's a tough one because Houston's been playing really good. C.J. Stroud's been playing better. He's looking like a really good NFL quarterback. So Houston made a good pick there when they picked him. Atlanta, they've been good and they're kind of inconsistent, I think. But in this one at Atlanta, I'm going with the Falcons. All right, Carolina at Detroit. Now, I thought Detroit was going to be really good this year coming into the year, and I think just now a lot of people are realizing that Detroit is a really good team. And hey, they beat my Chiefs week 1 at Arrowhead, so despite the Chiefs playing very poorly on offense, you still went into Arrowhead and beat Patrick Mahomes. So I think Detroit is legit, and they're playing Carolina, who has struggled. I think this is a Lions win. Tennessee at Indianapolis. Tennessee is an interesting team where if King Henry is on, they can just drain minutes off the clock and just beat you down to death and TOP you to death. And I like Tennessee in this matchup against the Colts. I'm going with the Tennessee in that one. Giants at Miami. Miami stinging after their first loss of the year to the Buffalo. I think they're going to take it out on the Giants, who have looked very bad so far this year. So I'm going with the Dolphins in that game. New Orleans at New England. New England looked terrible last week at Dallas. The Saints, I was pretty big on the Saints early in the year, but man, they've really kind of come back down to earth. I'm going to go with the Patriots at Foxborough. So I think they get a win. I think Belichick is pretty ticked off about his worst loss ever, and they're going to come back strong this week. Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Baltimore, another team that plays really well some games and then surprisingly struggles in other games. Pittsburgh, I don't know what it is about that team, but they just don't scare me. I'm going to go with Baltimore at Pittsburgh and the Ravens. Okay, so Philadelphia is at the Los Angeles Rams. Beautiful stadium, SoFi Stadium. Philadelphia's looked really good. They're a legit looking team. They made it to the Super Bowl last year. They seem like, one of the best teams in the NFL this year. I will go with Philadelphia over the Rams at Los Angeles. And by the way, this Paku Nakua, incredible player, man. He is like just lighting it up week after week. Very fascinating. I wish I would have had him on my fantasy team, but he was not available. So the team that did get him, congrats. He's a big time player. So I think the Rams will get better, but right now they're not strong enough to take out Philly. All right, Cincinnati at Arizona. Arizona, this is a team that I really cannot figure out. They looked really bad, and they also can play really good and beat teams like the Cowboys. But Cincinnati Bengals have been very disappointing. I'm not sure what's going on with that team, but in this game, even though it's at Arizona, I'm going to go with the Bengals. I'm going to give them one more pick before I start losing a lot of faith in them. Jets at Denver. The Jets did not look good at all Sunday night against the Chiefs. You know, I feel bad for that team because they were built, this team, to have Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback, and of course that's not happening. And it almost seems like a wasted season for them. So I have to go with Denver. It's at Mile High Stadium. Denver needs this win, I think. I go with Denver Broncos. The Chiefs, my Chiefs, at Minnesota. Of course, this is two of the guys that were on that featured on the quarterback show, that Netflix show. Patrick Mahomes and oh man, I cannot think right now. The Vikings quarterback, Kirk Cousins. Jeez. All right, so I have to go with the Chiefs here. I think it's going to be a very tough game, and the Chiefs could very well lose this game. But if I have to pick one, I'm going to go with the Chiefs on the road at Minnesota. Hopefully, the Chiefs receivers get the job done. Dallas at San Francisco. Whoa, what a game. I cannot wait to see this game. This feels like a throwback to the 90s when these were some great games. Dallas at San Francisco. This feels like the best matchup that they've had for a long time. I am going to go with San Francisco at home against the Cowboys. I think it's going to be a great game, though. And that's going to be the game where everybody wants to see. Green Bay at Las Vegas. Green Bay is a team that I have picked against quite a bit, and they seem to be doing way better than what I thought they were going to do. I'm not a big fan of Las Vegas and how they've looked this year. I go with the Packers at Las Vegas. So that's my picks. There are some teams that are off, so not as many games to pick. Let's see, there's 6, 7, 9, 10. There's 14 games to pick this week instead of the normal 16. So those are my picks. Now let's talk about the contest. Of course, the winner of the contest gets this PSA 9 orange rookie card prism Jabril Peppers. It's down to 2 people. One of them is me. Last week, let's start with the season at the beginning. In this contest, it's basically a knockout type contest. You got to pick one team to win, and if you pick your one pick is they lose, you're done. If your team you pick wins, you go on to the next week, but you can never pick the same team again. You can only use them once. So we've now made it through 5 weeks. I picked Baltimore the first week, then Buffalo, then my Chiefs, and then San Francisco. So far, I've made it through the first 4. Can I get through week 5? My week 5 pick, the Miami Dolphins, at home against the Giants. I feel pretty safe about this pick. So I'm hoping I get through to week 5. But I have company. We got Rangers baseball. He's still in it. Week 1, he picked the Dallas Cowboys. Week 2, the Kansas City Chiefs. Week 3, Buffalo Bills. Week 4, when I thought he was going to get knocked out by picking the Denver Broncos. And Denver Broncos, they were way behind in that game. Denver pulls it out, and he survives to the next week. So, Rangers baseball. Make your pick in the comments below. You know the deal. You can't pick Dallas, Kansas City, Buffalo, or Denver. The rest of the teams is up for grabs. So, your team has to win. You can't pick a team that's on a bye thinking that, oh, my team didn't lose. No, you have to pick a winner. A tie game, if teams tie, sorry, it's not win. Your team has to win. Let's see if we can both make it through to week 5. Put down in the comments below who you're going with. All right, now that's out of the way. The fantasy football picks. So I started off terrible this year, and then reeled off a huge win a couple weeks ago. And then this past week, I was playing a team that won the Super Bowl. We're tied for the Super Bowl last year, and somehow we escaped with victory. Won 114 to 102. We're 2-2 on the year. This week, we're playing a team that's 1-3, but they are the 4th highest scoring team in the league. So they've been scoring a lot, but not winning. So here's the lineup. We're going with Lamar Jackson of Baltimore. We're going with Derrick Henry at running back for Tennessee. DeAndre Swift of Philadelphia. So we're playing 2 running backs. I'm actually cracking out 4 wide receivers this week. We've got A.J. Brown of the Eagles. We've got Rashid Shaheed of the Saints, who just keeps on doing great points for me. Marvin Mims of the Broncos. Devontae Adams of the Raiders. Those are my 4 receivers. At tight end, we're going with Mark Andrews. I should have played him last week, but I somehow still won without him. At kicker, I'm going with Tyler Bass of Buffalo. He's been my best kicker this year. And my defense, I'm going with the Patriots defense because they'll be at home against the Saints, and I think they will get a tally this week because I don't think their offense scores a lot. They need that defense to score. All right, longer episode. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Let's have some football.